Colendi, a decentralized credit scoring protocol and a microcredit company, say they have the solution for the unbanked and underbanked in Africa. We have with us Mihriban Ersin, who's the co-founder and the CEO. Mihriban, definitely a pleasure speaking to you. Almost everything that has been put out in regards to Colendi has been you trying to convince the general population that this is the way to go for credit scoring. Let's start off with some of the details. Nearly 3 billion people unbanked or underbanked globally. That is as of 2017. But even as we come into this a new age of things where blockchain is the one that is the underlying platform for credit scoring, we still don't have the exact details of the kind of magnitude you'd be able to address, knowing very well that most of them are on smartphones, your ideal target. Speak to us about this.
Yeah, sure. The technology for the last decade, I guess, gave us a lot to use. But using technology gave us a lot of big names, big companies, and the data that you own doesn't belong to you. So it's like for the last decade, we had a lot to at least see what we have done for good. And the technology that we use for good was for most of the big names in the ecosystem. With the decentralized technologies that developed, with the blockchain ecosystem developing for the last couple of years, I guess we have enormous opportunities. And one of them was why we established Colendi. For the last 10 years, I'm in the fintech sector, and my last company was a transactional banking company with an e-money license. And we reached more than 1 million unbanked, underbanked people in Turkey, which is a Middle East country that is very similar to the Africa region. And we believe that there are more people suffering this unbanked, underbanked, and access to finance is a big issue for people. And when we started Colendi was started as an idea and become a decentralized protocol, providing a democratized credit scoring and credit worthiness for people who wants to use us and don't give their data to any other company, because your data belongs to you. And with so far what we have done for the ecosystem was developing our protocol and making it available in the testnet for people to use. Well, what we developed is an identity, a digital self-sovereign identity, and a credit score that you can use to access finance. And as I mentioned, in the world today, as you also, George, discussed before, we are talking about 2.5 billion people who are unbanked and underbanked. And this will require a lot of sophisticated partnerships, lots of technology involvement, and lots of, hopefully, execution power. What we have done for the last 2 years was developing this technology, and now we are ready to launch our protocol for our community. And we are coming with a couple of very good business partners.
Right, Mihriban, allow me to interject there. You've talked about the 2.5 billion people unbanked, but we have 44% of the current banked population not eligible for credit, meaning 72% of the world's population is defined as uncredible. This is according to some of the stats that you've given us. Now, you're working on the global financial passport. In that sense, your competitors who are not doing what you're doing with the technological advances that you have are the big three. We have Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch. If you go along with this, that means you will be undoing or probably discrediting most of what the big three has been doing over the last couple of years.
I guess people believe a lot of very interesting data sets that they own and that they create are incredibly valuable. And people's behaviors on the other side changed in the last decade. And we know this sharing economy is good, but when you look at the sharing economy actors or players, likewise Uber or Airbnb or any other guy, they're like the biggest intermediaries at the moment, and they're sucking the 40%, 30% of the value created in this ecosystem. And this is much bigger in banking ecosystem and much bigger when you are looking on the centralized credit scoring mechanisms. They approve you or they reject you, and they will be delivering you based on their financial recourse, nothing else, nothing more. But democratization of this model will be challenging. We believe in Colendi that with our decentralized credit scoring and microcredit protocol, we will be launching the protocol soon so that developers can use this, and people's creditworthiness and access to any kind of finance. This includes merchants become lenders, or peer-to-peer lending through creditworthiness scores are going to be available with these distributed apps. And Colendi will be working with a couple of very big names in the upcoming days that we are going to launch. And these launch partners are accumulating millions of people's lives, and they touch millions of people's life. And we hope to solve this problem for global institutions in the upcoming months, if not weeks.
Right, Bülent, within your protocol stack, you have the ID, the scoring, and of course you have the microcredit. We'd imagine you're not handling this entirely by yourself, or you're not the one handling the reserves. So who within your partners, if you're talking about the global scale of things, is the one doing that?
So we have this ecosystem, this decentralized ecosystem gives us the opportunity to incentivize the partners, developers, or any kind of player in this ecosystem to get inside, and this will be used for everyone's good. And what we will deliver with this technology will be, we start this with a couple of snowball effect guys, like a telecom partner will be onboarding us with a retail partner. And also, we will have a couple of big merchants in Turkey, in Indonesia, in Colombia, in hopefully Nigeria. So we will see how will things work for them, and hopefully the community will pick up from their own, and they will use us as a technology stack for their distributed apps, or any kind of partnerships will be available for anyone else, because we are going to be the developer of this protocol, and we are going to open source to the developers or any kind of partners that want to use us as a partner here. So we will be hopefully delivering the ecosystem a stack of incredibly valuable protocol, including an identity, a credit scoring, and a microcredit protocol that they can use through their ecosystems.